Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Bowen, on another wonderful episode of The Oyster, which is putting a little pinch of dirt into that oyster shell, therefore become a pearl, which is what we've always meant to be, shining in all of our glory. The most wonderful thing about this personification, in a sense, is how we can translate and connect it to this wonderful, brilliant insight of the truth, in a sense. So, I'm going to read some really big news that'll kind of help bring connections to where we are to go. More in a sense, how we can, kind of connect more to each other, connect to ourselves, connect to our inner beings, and kind of really make those segues in science and culture and physics, and make those segues in creativity, imagination, and important changes in architecture, infrastructure, and how that plays a role in economics and ultimately politics, the way we view our government, which is of the people, and the way that we can individually and through independence and collectively create enormous waves of accelerated positive change. Riding even bigger, faster, larger, massive waves of awesomeness. Now, what do these waves of awesomeness contain? What are we surfing on? Here's an excerpt from a really good book. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before, but it's called Messages from the Hollow Earth. And this gives very, very clear insight of what the type of civilization, glimpsing at a type of advanced civilization, which ultimately we can, in a sense, kind of mirror in the same way, history mirrored previous civilizations, how architecture we have today kind of mimics the Greek architecture, the style of Baroque and Renaissance is still used in music today, for example, and in style in general, even clothing. So the actual, one really good excerpt is, just kind of, what is life like? What is life like inside this wonderful place? And this is, of course, in the Hollow Earth. There's an entrance at the North Pole and an entrance at the South Pole. They have been there for hundreds of thousands of years. They've a little bit about their history. They once lived in another solar system. So, in a sense, Mycos explains it very well. So I'm just going to read it. We're going to just read it from here. So, greetings, my fellow travelers on Earth. It is Mycos speaking to you today from inside the Hollow Earth, which is our home. We have been here for millions of years, slowly evolving ourselves into the god beings that we are. Our evolution has made great strides due to the isolation of being wrapped up inside the womb of Mother Earth. All our lives have been spent in peace and bliss due to our location. We exist here in peace and tranquility because of the proximity to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. The more deeply one goes into the earth, the more deeply one feels the beat of the earth, and the more one feels her heartbeat, the more one resonates to her goddess qualities. So this proximity has led us over the millennia to our oneness with all life, to our joy of existence. All life knows this oneness, yet most of life has yet to feel it in their outer bodies. As the heartbeat of Mother Earth reverberates through the earth, it reaches the surface where you can feel and experience it. However, in order to feel and resonate with this beat of life, you have to be in peace. Your outer bodies have to be in coordination and synchronicity with each other, all vibrating at the same velocity and all feeling the grace of God and immersion in the oneness of creation. When your bodies are at rest at night, they resonate to the deep beat within them. You can only evolve when your are in a state of peace, and this is why we, who are immersed in Earth's depths, have been able to evolve, because we have been in synchronicity with the beat of all life and with ourselves. Once we were adrift in space, living on another solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. At this time, there were what you today call Star Wars. People were enraged in battles to control our sector of the galaxy. These battles brought great destruction to planets and knocked solar systems off course. It was a dark time for our galaxy, and beings like ourselves yearned for peace to be restored so that we can continue our evolution. This is when we discovered the Earth. We left our solar system and traveled here, which at the time was a planet little known outside its parameter. When we alighted on the surface, we were amazed and in awe of the beauty and tranquility of Earth. We explored the surface and found the open tunnels leading into the cavity inside. These were already existing tunnels from other civilizations, for the Earth is very old and her civilizations ancient. All planets have opening at their north and south poles. We have, and this is like a next section of the book, kind of what I described a little bit earlier. All planets have openings at their north and south poles. We have migrated through the poles and found our nest inside. The inside is so clean, so pure, and so peaceful that from that time on, we never left it. Throughout the ages, we have enlarged and expanded the tunnels leading to the subterranean cities and surface as a means of travel for our inhabitants and yours. Although not too many surface travelers have seen these tunnels, they exist for the future, when more of you and more of us will intermingle and make the trip to visit each other. So the surface is dotted with tunnel entrances that you see on the map in this book, leading both to subterranean cities and to us. This is how it is on most planets in your galaxy, where people travel freely to both the cradle and the rim to exchange information and to learn from each other. So I'm going to quickly interject here. The picture is basically a picture of it. What he's describing is that you can see when you see this hollow Earth picture. It's the picture of the Earth, and then you can see tunnels that go to the inner part of inner Earth or inner shell. So you can see like the Kentucky Mammoth Caves have parts that go into tunnels that go all the way through the 800 miles of the crust. Pyramid of Giza. You can see Admiral Byrd's route that he took. All sorts of tunnels exist all throughout all throughout the Earth, and you can see that on the picture. So, I'll continue on. Your Earth has quite a history going back into millennia of time. Unfortunately, its history isn't always peaceful, because once it was discovered, people fought great wars trying to control it and mine and remove its precious resources. So now that these times of raping the Earth are now over with, these beings are no longer allowed entry into the sector of the galaxy, which is steadily rising in light, even as the waves lap the shores. The light is flowing ceaselessly now, and bringing the tranquility and awareness that all surface dwellers yearn for. We, here in the hollow recesses of the Earth, have been calling for eons for more light and for help from the Confederation of Planets to intercede to stop the influx of raving bands of ETs who have been scouring space to find planets that are rich in reserves like Earth. But today it is done. Know that the Confederation fully protects the sector so that life can fully begin to evolve in peace. And I would also like to skip to another part so you can know a little bit about their homes, to get an understanding about the future, I guess, of our homes, which probably will mimic theirs or will just be one with them. So it's beautiful. So anyway, Chapter 15, our homes. All of our buildings are round. Our library rooms are all environmentally harmonious with our outdoor surroundings, and all are open to the green of our outdoors and rich fragrances of our flowers. Our rooftops are open as well, as there are none. There's nothing above us to separate us from heaven. Our office room space is exposed to all the elements, and all the hollow earth elements harmoniously and joyously intermingle and interact in a state of divine perfection. So we don't need rooftops to protect ourselves from them, as they work directly with us, not against us. And because all our buildings are round, we never have to dust. Because dust never accumulates, we live dust-free lives in our circular buildings and homes. Geometric shapes have certain properties, and in a circle, the energy freely moves and revolves, carrying dust particles along with it, so the dust never settles in corners, since a corner does not exist in a circle. So as dust particles move into a room, the energy flow also carries it out. It is more efficient than a vacuum cleaner, because a storage bag isn't necessary. Soon this architectural principle will be prevalent on Earth, and all your structures will be circular in shape. Ta-da! It's a little hint, hint, wink, wink. Wink, wink. That's something we should do. Jewels, diamonds, and crystals, we reside here in the hollow earth amongst great richness and live in great palaces infused with light. To you it would seem as a fantasy land, but to us it is real. As we created it from our own god selves, we created homes for gods and goddesses, and this is where we dwell. We dwell amongst richness your eyes cannot yet conceive of. Every possible convenience is at our fingertips, and our environment is more beautiful than you can imagine. Our homes are set in the lushness of the countryside that abounds all around us, and are built right into the natural environment, surrounded by lakes and streams. So this goes a little bit earlier to why I described how we don't have to build upon nature, but build with nature, along with nature. Back to the reading, the excerpt. We have no cities like yours. We have only country that never ceases to amaze even us. The trees and flowers are vibrant with pulsating hues and shapes, and caress our homes and land. Everything is monumental, as you would term it. Even our trees and mountains are double the height of yours, and of course our bodies are taller and larger in frame. The width and girth of our figures more than doubles yours, and our fruits and vegetables are huge in comparison to yours. All our foods are organic, as we are in tune with Mother Nature, and she personally directs their growth. We live in grand palaces made of crystallized stones that are embedded with jewels from the earth. These crystallized stones create a magnetic field and radiance that nurtures and balances our bodies, and fills us with a life force emanating from the great central sun of our universe. All things in our homes radiate the purity of God and tunes us to God's vibrations, for it is God's love that fills our homes, and God's love that creates the richness in our lives. Our homes are round and translucent, and bend into the countryside. By outward appearances, they give us total privacy, but once within, we can see out in all directions around us. This gives us a spacious feeling of vision rather than being locked in, as you are on the surface. Not only can we see out of our homes, but we can see out beyond the earth to the stars in the sky. Our vision has no boundaries or barriers. Wherever we are in the hollow earth, our eyes and senses are free to roam the universe, while our bodies remain inside the globe. This is just an absolute beautiful insight about how marvelous life is. And so that's ultimately where we're going into, and now that we actually, have a voice of we the people, the silent majority is silent no more. We can now speak up about this truth of our family that's alive and well, goddesses and gods of the inner earth. And we can be one with them and living in peace. And once we live in peace, we can evolve. We actually evolve. So it's very exciting. And that's a fantastic bit of news. And it's incredible. So that's the truth. And I thank you once again. Thank you for your support. I'm your host, Christopher Bowen. Have a good night.